What's up, guys? My name is Deafstroke, and today I have the second battle of the GBA Season 1, Week 2, Granbulls vs. Sawsbucks. A highly anticipated match. Two fan favorites, uh, mainly Magnitude, but shout out to the four fans of the Granbulls. You guys know who you are. He sends out Moltres to lead. I send off Stoutland to lead. Really hoping he wouldn't send Malamar out first turn. Don't want to give it a attack boost turn one. He just goes for U-turn. Smart play on his part. Smarter play on my part. Go for the pursuit. Get some damage off on this Moltres because I need this thing dead. It's going to cause a lot of problems for my team if I don't deal with it as soon as possible. But he goes into Malamar now, which I'm okay with because I have the play rough. Finally, that is the first time play rough has ever hit with this Stoutland. I've used it like 5 times. Stoutland stepping up in the GBA. I like to see that. He's got to switch out. Goes into Clifkey, which my Stoutland can do absolutely nothing against. I don't carry the Fire Fang on the Stoutland. I wish I did. I might have been able to do some stuff to it. But turns out I'm just going to switch out into Rotom Wash. Predicting a Thunder Wave. He does do that. Thank goodness in X and Y, electric types can't get paralyzed. It really throws a wrench into a lot of certain folks' strategies. But I'm going to full switch out, knowing that he'll switch out. He goes into Ampharos, and the Volt Switch just to give me switch advantage. So I go into Venusaur knowing that I can resist Stab Thunderbolt and max special defense, max HP. So he ends up switching out. I go for the Toxic here because I know his Ampharos has Cotton Guard, and Toxic on that thing would be really useful in case he wants to set up his defense. But turns out he goes in to Malamar, and it's good because I get rid of his Lumberry, so I can go into Sableye to dodge the Psycho Cut. And I actually go for a trick. I was expecting him to switch out because normally you would not want to stay in on Sableye with Malamar. But here I just decide now that I'm going to burn it. But he predicts that nicely and goes into Moltres. Super Blah 411. Shout out to Nick. I can't stand. The overheat is really scary. That would definitely take out my Sableye, and I don't want that to happen. Just yet, at least. Max Special Defense Rotom. Really helpful. I figured Moltres was going to be coming because it really is a problem for my team. So that's why I brought in this Rotom Wash, and it's not too bad. I'm happy with it. Decent damage from Hydro Pump on Ampharos. I mean, that thing's pretty especially bulky, so there's not really much else I can do to it. So I need to get out of here. I don't want to take any hit. I'm not expecting him to go for a Thunderbolt, just due to the fact that I'm also an electric type. It's not that like I resist it, it's neutral, but I figured he'd go for Dragon Pulse. So I went into Mega Mawile off the Volt Switch, and he does go for a Dragon Pulse, which is good because it doesn't affect me. So, time to Mega Evolve. This thing is... I love Mega Mawile. I was a hater on it in the beginning of the game, or from release, up until recently. But it's just so strong. There's not really much you can do against it once it gets Sword Stance up. You can put it to sleep, or whatever. But look at that. He was +3 Cotton Guard, play rough, didn't even matter. I just destroyed him. But like I said, you can put him to sleep, and that's what he does, sends in this Miracle. And, I mean, I don't really mind that because I have aromatherapy with Blissey, so as long as I keep him asleep, I don't have to worry about anybody else being asleep. I could have went into Venusaur predicting that, but I didn't really see the need to do so. But he goes for Stealth Rock as I switch into Stoutland, mainly just to get some return damage on whatever he decides to bring in. To be honest, I figured he would probably just sack his, what is that thing, Smeargle? But it turns out he just switches out into Clifkey, which is smart, because I can't do anything to it. So I go into Blissey, because he's got the lone fire move that I have with this team. I carry the Flamethrower on it. I also have Thunderbolt, but Flamethrower is definitely the way to go right now. I know Blissey doesn't have a lot, or even that great special attack, but a super effective hit with Flamethrower is still going to do a decent amount of damage to this Clifkey, because they're usually physical. I don't think I've ever seen a especially defensive Clifkey, but who knows? Maybe people want it. I don't know, but yeah, Flamethrower does a respectable amount of damage. I was hoping to get the burn with the Serene Grace hacks. It turns out that didn't happen. But you know, leftovers is going to be a problem without that burn, because he's got that Confusion Axe. That soft boiled was supposed to be aromatherapy. It was a misclick, but didn't factor into the match too much, so it didn't really matter. It would have been nice to have my Mega Mawile awake right now, but I figured he's just going to be swaggering, and I'd rather just try to take it out now so I don't have to deal with it if my Blissey were to go down. Again, no burn. Serene Grace failing me. It's a little upsetting. I was kind of hoping for more hacks. One of these days I will put Ice Beam on this thing and just really annoy somebody with getting free sacks. But for right now, Thunderbolt Flamethrower is a good combination for Blissey's for right now. And his Reflect wears off, so I figured he's either going to go for Reflect or he's just going for a Foul Play just before it dies. But it turns out he switches out into the obvious Flamethrower, since that's the move that I was going for the past couple turns. So Greninja takes that like a champion, goes for the Dark Pulse. I think he's trying for the Paraflinch, or not the Paraflinch, the Fusion Flinch, if it's a thing. But turns out it works out for him, because he gets my Blissey hurts itself in Confusion, and that's pretty poor considering he goes for a Power Punch. I thought that I would live a Power Punch, so I went for a Thunderbolt. Turns out I don't. Not even a crit. It's not Life Orb. I think he might be Expert Belt, to be honest. But that did a lot more than I was expecting it to. That's just a fail on my part for staying in. But I get rid of his attack boost from Power Punch with Stoutland and Intimidate, and he just goes into Clifkey. But I figured you would do that, so I'm going into Sableye to hopefully out-prioritize him. And since I don't have my Scarf anymore, I am free to go for any move. I would have liked to still have it so I could have tricked him, and then I wouldn't have to worry at all about this Clifkey. But he goes for the Swagger, and that Swagger is really becoming an issue because I just keep hitting myself now. I got really lucky early on. But it turns out I'm gonna end up hitting myself yet again, and he's just gonna be able to take me out with a Foul Play. So Sableye doing absolutely nothing this game. Really bad. I mean, it's a really good poke, but it's just done nothing for me this match at all. Go into Venusaur because I do not figure anything from this Clifkey. He can swagger if he wants, but Venusaur skillfully evading a swagger. All skill, no luck involved right there. Venusaur has been working on his foot movement. Gotta like that, because it gives me a free leech seed pretty much, and that severely hampers his Clifkey because he's not going to be able just to stay in, because he's going to be losing more health every turn because of leech seed. But then he shows me Thunder Wave, and this, I'm not going to say it made me angry because I'm running Blissey and Sableye, but I figured I do not want to lose to Parafusion. Like, this is not how I wanted to have my first loss in the GBA. So Venusaur needs to do some work. So I get confused again. I break through it again, and I get a crit, which doesn't take him out because it's resisted, but I'm getting health from Giga Drain, I'm getting health from Leech Seed, I'm getting health from Black Sludge. I have nothing at all to worry about with this Clifkey right now, besides the Para and the Confusion Axe. But, ladies and gentlemen, Venusaur is not having any of that. Says, get out of here, Clifkey. I'm sick and tired of your Parafusion shenanigans. It's time to leave. GG no re. Venusaur greater than Clifkey. That's all I have to say about that. But he brings in Nick again, and I'm really terrified of this thing now. Because 2 out of the 4 people I have left do not want to take any single hit from this thing. I send in Stoutland as death fodder because Venusaur could not stay in. Going to Road and Wash. I knew it was scarfed, so I figured it was totally safe for me to go for a rest. The reason I knew it was scarfed is because he told me it was scarfed, like, last week, so I had a little prior knowledge. Figured if he's going to have a U-turn on, it's probably scarfed. But, it goes for the superpower, gets the attack raise, as I go for the Will-O-Wisp, which is what I wanted to do earlier. I don't know why he didn't predict that as well. Maybe he just didn't want to, maybe he just wanted to get rid of his Malamar, so he could get a safe switch into Road and Wash with, his, Moltres. So, he's superpowers, pretty much takes me back down to the health that I was before, I had, used rest. But now, in comes Mega Mawile, and I told him in the Skype call that we were in, I said, I lose this match if I don't get a first turn wake. If I get a first turn wake, I win this game. And I get the first turn wake, I use Sucker Punch, expecting the overheat, and I take out the major threat to my team, Moltres. He was not happy about that. I can't really blame him. It's complete luck right there. But I'm not going to complain, because that's really good for me. I go for the Sword Stance, knowing that I can live a Surf. And then I'm just going to go for a Sucker Punch, but he knew that, so he's just going to switch out to his Smeargle. I don't want to stay in, because I don't want to be put back to sleep. So I'm actually going to switch out into Venusaur, predicting the Spore, and he double switches it back into Greninja. Which, was a good prediction on his part, but the thing is, he actually doesn't have Ice Beam on his Greninja. I don't know what his last move is, I don't remember it, but he goes for the Surf because, for some reason, maybe he thought I was going to switch out of Venusaur, but I get the Parahax. I went for the Giga Drain there, that would have been really helpful to get a Giga Drain on him. But he goes for the Dark Pulse, he's trying to get the Para Flinch going, and fortunately, I get a good drain off, but he's dark type, so it's just a neutral hit. But it's gonna give me health back. I'm gonna get health back from Black Sludge as well. I'm feeling pretty confident I can take this Greninja out with Venusaur. I go for the Leech Seed as I break through with the paralysis. Figured maybe I can get him to switch out, or at least get some more health back from Leech Seed, as well as get some damage on him. There's not really much he can do to me. Well, I can just sit in here all day pretty much, because he can't spore me with Smeargle. That paralysis totally mattered. But he actually has Memento on his Smeargle, and I was really confused about why he had Memento Smeargle, but I guess after you set up hazards, there's really no use for Smeargle after that. I mean, I didn't have a spinner, so he didn't really have to worry about it. He could have sat in there and set up all his hazards turn 1. But Greninja's his last poke after he takes himself out with that Memento, and it's back to using Dark Pulse. It did a lot of damage. I'm feeling pretty confident I can take out this Greninja with my Venusaur, as long as I don't get any flinch or paralysis hacks. Turns out there was a form of hacks that I didn't think about, and that would be a critical hit, and I really didn't think it was going to make a difference. But as it turns out, it does. It makes a big difference, because he gets a crit, I get the paralyzation, and he's going to end up actually being able to take my Venusaur out. So, it's giving him a new lease on life. Or you could call it false hope, because I still have my Mega Mawile, and I'm just going to be able to take him out with a Sucker Punch. Even though it's resisted, he's got like the lowest of low healths that you could have, and it's just going to take him out, and that's going to be the game. Good game, Steve. The Granbulls 2-0. Mega Mawile looking pretty good. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.